Hey YouTube, Richician of Team Sorcerers here, finally doing a deck profile for my Utopia deck. So yeah, just had 2 games with Gongna, and I was able to showcase almost all of them. I didn't get a chance to bring out Utopic Future Zexal, unfortunately. So yeah, let's show the deck, and I'll actually start with the extra deck since this is based on an extra deck monster. So of course we have 3 copies of number 39 Utopia, my original favourite Xyz, still one of my favourites of all time, but also my favourite number monster. Yes, this is what the deck is based on. This is the Xyz monster that everyone started out with. I've seen builds where only one of it is played for some reason. I don't agree with that at all. It should be a 3 of, if not 2. Because otherwise, what's even the point? Then again, I guess it's down to personal preference. Then a single copy of Utopia Double. So we all know what that does. 2 copies of Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray. It would be a one-off, but since this is a Richician format deck, I'm playing 2 of it. I think these are the... I think I pulled these from that Lightning Overdrive case. I know there was one that was gifted to me by Weber's 5. It could be one of these 2, but I'm not sure which one it is. Then ultimately a Utopia Ray. So we all know what that does. Don't worry, we'll get to the new cards. Then number C39 Utopia Ray V. Number C39 Utopia Ray Victory, one of my personal favourites. Then Utopia Prime, Utopia the Lightning, my favourite Xyz monster. Number F0 Utopic Future, and then here is one of the new cards, the cover card of Duelist Advance. I think I might have summoned it in Edo Pro games, I'm not sure, but just, like I said, didn't have a chance to use it in a real game yet. Then again, I'll be playing this deck against Dark Magic Couple tomorrow night, so maybe I'll get a chance to use it then. But yeah, obviously it's not so new now. Actually, these have been around for a year. I don't know why I'm saying new. I guess newer would be the right thing to say. So, for those who don't know what this does, it needs 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank. This card's original rank is always treated as 1. It gains attack and defense equal to the combined ranks of all Xyz monsters you control and in your opponent's graveyard, times 500. I don't know why it's counting the opponent's graveyard rather than your own. That makes no sense, but whatever. Your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one, and also your opponent cannot target other cards on the field with card effects. So that part works like Egyptian God Slime. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, take control of 1 monster your opponent controls. Also for the rest of this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And that doesn't target for some reason. Next we have number F0 Utopic Draco Future, number 99 Utopic Dragnar. So yeah, it's in there for now, but I'm considering banning it from Richician format, just because it's a card that, well, people don't like dealing with. I remember Dragon Master expressing a deep hatred for this card. I mean, I have no problem doing that, but because I only got it like several months ago and haven't had a chance to play it in any real games yet, I wanted to play with the card first. But then again, it's got like, I think it has 80 points in Genesis. So for Genesis games, I wouldn't be able to play this anyway without sacrificing some other cards. Anyway, that's that. Then Draconic Halberd, Leo Arms, because I wanted to play it. Then Gaga Magician. I think I said too many Gagagas. And then Gaga Girl. Yeah, the highest rarity of the newer cards. So it's a generic rank 4. And the effect is, if this card has a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo card as material, which it normally would do, you can detach a material from this card to add a Gagaga, Onomat, or Xyz card from your deck to your hand. And you can only use this effect once per turn, and a utopic future Xyz monster that has it as a material gains this effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, it can make a second attack during the battle phase this turn. Oh, so I guess it would have to be the same turn you actually summon it, so it doesn't carry over. So yeah, that's going to do it, and that is it for the extra deck, you guys. On with the main deck. So for the main deck, we have one of the new cards right here, Do Warrior, which has like loads of points in Genesis. I'll do a Genesis profile at some point. But for those who don't know what it does, you can send a Do monster from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, and its level becomes 4 and its attack becomes 1800. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters. Like that's much of a drawback here. So, yeah, ideally you'd want to send the Dwarf Go-Go Glove. And if it's detached from an Xyz monster to activate that monster's effect, you can add a Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand. And speaking of Zubaba monsters, we have 2 copies of Zubaba Banjo Gagaga Coat, 2 copies of Dwarf Go-Go Glove, then 2 copies of another of the new cards, Zubaba Knight, which is like the Stratos of the deck, basically. So if it's normal or special summon, you can activate one of these effects. Either add a Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand, except itself, and then this card's level becomes the level of the added monster, or you destroy a level 4 or lower defense mode monster the opponent controls. Yeah, that second one isn't likely to come up, but you never know. And if this card is detached from an Xyz monster to activate that monster's effect, you can add a Gagaga monster from your deck to your hand, and each effect is a hard once per turn. Then you have Goblinberg. I mean, I feel like I should be playing this at 3. I don't know, but I already have it at 1 because I couldn't think what to drop for 2 other copies. Either way, it's the only one I have. I think. Actually, I might have 1 going spare in my blue binder of spares, I'm not sure. But anyway, so when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a non-warrior Gokuga monster from a hand, deck or graveyard. Yeah, that's why I was thinking of tripling this, because it can summon 1 from anywhere, well, except the banished zone, of course. Then, if this card is in attack position, change it to defense position, which I don't think I did in the game that I used it, but not that it mattered. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. Big drawback, right? And if it's detached from an Xyz monster to activate that monster's effect, you can add a Dododo monster from your deck to your hand, and both effects are hard once per turn. Then 2 copies of Gagaga Gunborough Knight. Yeah, basically an extender. So you can reveal a Gagaga monster in your extract to special summon this card from your hand, then you can activate one of two effects. You can either special summon a Gagaga monster from your hand, or change the battle position of one monster on the field, and if its detachment exceeds monster to activate that monster's effect, you can add a Gagaga monster from your deck to your hand, and again there are hard ones per turn. And then finally, Onomata Kage. Yeah, just one of it. I don't know how many this should be of, but it's fine anyway. Oh, am I missing some monsters? Oh no, I'm not. I thought I was. So yeah, it's always treated as a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gagago, and Dododo card. And if I control a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gagago, or Dododo monster, and this card is in your hand or graveyard, oh, graveyard, I actually forgot you could special it from the grave. You can special summon this card from your hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. But having it banished isn't likely to happen, because it's going to be attached to an Xyz monster and then detached anyway. You can banish this card from a graveyard, return up to 2 Xyz monsters from a graveyard to the extract, and each effect is a hard once per turn. And then I think all the others you're very familiar with. 2 copies of Utopic Onomatopoeia, 2 copies of Zeal Sage Ascended Sage, 2 copies of Zeal Sage Armed Sage, then 1 copy each of the usual Zexal weapons, Tornado Bringer, Lightning Blade, Pegasus Twin Saber, and Asura Strike. I must also point out that in my format I would limit Pegasus Twin Saber and Ultimate Leo Ray, but there's no point because they're only played as one-offs anyway. Anyway, that's going to do it for monsters. On with the spells. So for the spells, we have 3 copies of Onomatopoeia, then Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force, then 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Zexal Force, then Zexal Catapult, 3 copies of Zexal Construction, 1 Zexal Entrust, and then the newer spell, Gagaga Utopic Tactics, which I didn't really get a chance to use. So Utopia and Utopic Xyz monsters you control whose original attribute is light cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Gagaga Utopic Tactics once per turn. You can declare a level from 1 to 12, then target 2 face-up monsters you control, including a Gagaga monster. They become that level. If you Xyz summon a Utopia or Utopic Xyz monster whose original attribute is light, I mean they are anyway, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So, pretty nice. Then Xyz Change Tactics, Double or Nothing, Reinforcement of the Army, Pot of Greed, Regeki, and Twin Twisters. And there's only 1 trap in here, which is Numbers Protection. Actually, did I limit this in my format? I actually can't remember. Not that it matters, because I think it's a one-off anyway, but I'll have to double check that. But yeah, that is it for the Utopia deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. So yeah, I'm not sure if I've got the right ratios of the cards in the main deck. I mean, I think the extra deck is fine, and obviously I can modify it to suit Genesis. Obviously on Edo Pro games and Master Duel games I can't play all of the Xyz monsters I have here, so there'll have to be some cuts for those decks. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, stay safe, catch you guys later, see ya.